All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay, and by the looks of things, I think the PocoPhone is going to be a go. It's the hype behind this phone was the specs when it first launched, and that's just what it is in the price. So inside of this phone, you're getting a lot of high-end features and specs as far as hardware goes that you're getting on phones that cost triple the cost or double the cost, and it's crazy. So the phone has a Snapdragon 845, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It's liquid cooled. It's got a 20 megapixel on the front, a 5 and a 12 on the back, a fingerprint reader, very fast facial recognition, Type C, stereo speakers. This is a lot of phone packed in here for this price tag. Now there's several different versions. There's a 6 gig, 64 gig version. There's a 6 gig, 128 gig version, which is what I have right here. And then there's the 8 gig, 256 gig version. So that is what you get. So I mean, there's no waterproofing and there's no wireless charging, but other than that, this is loaded up. Now the main kicker about this phone that turned people off once it actually was dropped was no official LTE for the US. Now I can see why this would upset a person, because Xiaomi pumped this phone up. They pumped it up like, yo, this is gonna be the one, and they dropped it, didn't come to the US. Kind of surprising, but the fact that you can actually get it still, and just check the links in the description down below. The fact that you can get it and use it in the US is kind of a pro. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so let me do a speed test, because I've been starting with this lately because people have been concerned about speeds. Now just remember, this is running on HSPA Plus, not LTE, but these are technically LTE speeds. So if you look down here, it says 3G. I'm gonna change it to a T-Mobile server officially, but I'm still peaking out at about 15 megabits down. So 15 megabytes down. So that's pretty good for a phone that's not supposed to be working over here on LTE. And I know there's advanced LTE and 5G and everything like that, but I would recommend this phone to a lot of people at this point, because there's just not very many phones answering the call in the US at a low price point. So yeah, you got essential phones and everything like that, and you've got G7s that are in the price range, and hey, go for those if that's what you want to do. There's just a lot of options out there, but this phone right here is a great performer. So those are the speeds right there. I've been getting, so for some reason I've been capping out at about 15. It'll actually say 15 on some of them, and then the upload speeds have been no more than 7 or 6 or something like that. So with that being said, though, this is a hot look, man. This phone is really nice. It does have that cutout at the top, but you could turn it off. You just go into full screen display, and you can see right there, it'll tell you can turn it off, or you just hit that button right there. It says hide that area. You know what it's called. And I've had it off ever since. For some reason, I just never turned it back on. I just like how it looks like this. I don't have a problem with the way it looks. It's got a theme store where you can theme it. I got a couple of themes on here and everything. So I got the limitless theme with the Poco wallpaper. So, you can change it up however you want. You can do different icons. You don't need a launcher with this one. You just go into the settings right there. And I've got all these different icon packs that I've already got loaded onto the phone that I can use if I want to. So, you decide what you want to do with this phone. But I have links in the description for two versions. The 64 gig, 6 gig, and the 6 gig 128 gig model, which is what this is. So day-to-day use, it's been good, man. I'm able to stream and just do everything like a regular like any other phone I have. There's been nothing that's stopping this phone for performing, and I think that's what you should be looking for if you want a very serious package. I mean, because this phone has 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside. That's a lot of battery. Now my battery life, I've only been able to get possibly no more than 8 hours of screen on time. And that doesn't happen very often. I'm averaging about 6 to 7, which is fantastic. It's about the optimization for the phone though. So, because I've got other phones that are the same internals, but they get way better battery and they have bigger screens. And that's none other than the Vivo Nex. The Vivo Nex, it's got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with 8 gigs of RAM, and it's a 1080p display too. but it's just performing a heck of a lot better as far as battery life goes. I don't know, man. I'm happy about this phone now that I have it. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna sit on camera and tell you it's not a good purchase. For those that are worried about the LTE speeds, just let it go. If you're gonna harp on it and say, oh, it doesn't have wireless charging, it doesn't have LTE, it doesn't have all these things that you want, just go to the next phone then. Go to something else. This phone doesn't have wireless charging. It doesn't have the official LTE bands for the US, and it doesn't have an IP rating. It doesn't have wireless charging. It doesn't have I think I said that like multiple times, but it doesn't have those three things right there: official LTE bands, wireless charging, and an IP rating. So now, if you know that, don't sweat it. Don't watch the videos on it. Don't comment on it. Don't just keep it moving. Because I've found that a lot of people keep saying, oh, I heard that it had, or I heard that it doesn't work. Listen, it just means that you're intrigued by it and you just really want to get it, but you're afraid to get it, it appears. So either you're going to step out and buy it like some of us did, or you're just going to keep it moving. And I would tell the people who are afraid to buy it because of whatever rumor they heard, pull the trigger, man. You got a return policy if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel comfortable buying from eBay or GearBest, pick where you want to buy it from. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do with it. But I'm telling you, this is a good performer. I don't have any problems with it. I haven't had anything. I had one issue. And let me keep it 100. I had one issue, but this is something that's on my network. Because this doesn't just happen with this phone. It happens with several phones, and that's the Wi-Fi. So my Wi-Fi sometimes, it doesn't connect to certain phones very well. It'll connect, but then it'll drop. So I'm going to connect it to Wi-Fi real quick. And then I can go in, and I can just do something like try to run a speed test. Most cases, the network will drop. Not because of the speed test, but, just because, all right, I didn't get a chance to. You see it drop off up there? Keep your eye on that top corner up there. Keep your eye on that top corner. All right. You'll see this. This is gonna fail. This is it's already dropped in and out. See it dropping in and out up there. But when it is on Wi-Fi, man, look at that. I have 1 gigabit internet, so that's why I'm getting 600 plus. You know what I'm saying? Strong Wi-Fi signals too. It really makes me upset that I don't use it on Wi-Fi a lot because, you know what I'm saying? It drops off. But when it is on Wi-Fi, look at those speeds, man. This is the first time. Is it going to complete? No. Well, I want to show you that it's messing up. There it is. I was about to say. But you see those speeds, though? So, obviously, the Wi-Fi antennas are good in here, but it's just my network. And other people who have this phone, they're probably not having Wi-Fi issues. But I just need to get it calibrated with my router. This isn't the only phone that's done this, man. It happens with the Essential phone, too. But once I reset the router or something like that, it comes back and it starts working. But other than that issue, I don't have a problem at all, man. I'm rolling with it. I could use this as a daily driver. Even though the Wi-Fi drops in and out, I could use it. I could just connect it. Okay, so I have multiple routers. So just because it's not working with that one, I can connect it to something else. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that serious, and I can just run it through my router. But it's not that deep. I just normally just turn Wi-Fi off once I see. Okay, you want a trip? I'll just leave Wi-Fi off. I can still stream and do everything at the same rate. Obviously, it buffers a little bit more possibly when I try to crank it up to 1080p. But at 480p, it's good. 720p even, it's pretty good. So, battery life is decent on here. Stereo sound on here is ridiculous. The screen is pretty good. It's actually really good for a 1080p display. It's a good phone, man. I don't have any complaints. Sometimes when I'm reviewing a phone, I'm not really looking for something to go wrong. But if something goes wrong, then I'll report it to you. But other than that, man, I actually could recommend this phone, man. For those people who are afraid to buy it because of the network, I've heard somebody also say that it doesn't work on Metro PCS. I don't know about that. With Metro, I've hooked up plenty of Xiaomi phones, and they just go through perfectly fine. You call them up, give them the IMEI, and tell them, hey, it's just a phone I got, it's unlocked. They don't care. They want you to pay your bill. They don't care about the phone that much. So I would say just give it a try, man. Links are in the description. It's up to you if you want to try it or not, but everybody who keeps reporting back, oh, I heard that. Listen, let that go, man. If you're not interested in it or you're afraid to pull the trigger, let somebody else deal with it. You know what I mean? This is easily a solid daily driver, for real. Good size, 6.18 inch display, so basically a 6.2 inch display. The cameras are good, especially that front camera, man. See how fast that facial recognition is? It's crazy. That 20 megapixel front camera, it also works in at nighttime too. It's crazy. It's nice, man. It's nice. I'm tempted to put this up against every other phone I have, but I'm definitely not gonna prefer it over the G7. I already know. I think I already got that video out. But it's a hot phone, man. It's about personal preference, you know. So it's your man Jay, man. I am out of here. I hope that you guys enjoyed. This is a review, 1 week review of a great phone, man. That's under $400. It's a flagship with a low budget price. Well, not low budget, but it's a flagship under $400. I'll say that. All right. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.